Greetings, everybody. We are back later on the week here to continue our discussion about the Shaman, Sprint Run Shaman to be specific.
The good version.
Yep.
The only one that really matters at this point.
It's like the G10 S31 was the bad version somehow, and this is the good.
By comparison.
Yeah, I didn't like the original Shaman at all, but I like this one.
Anyway.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Our personal thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, for sure. Materials-wise, I think they're doing an absolutely bang-up job. Carbon fiber, the contouring on the carbon fiber, even though the flats are a little boring for carbon fiber.
I like seeing
because the
You
chamfering
can
is
really
so...
see into that carbon fiber because of the flats, which is nice.
Really pretty pattern on it, I find.
So the chamfering is what does it for me personally.
Yeah.
I have to ask the question though: what's the deal with Spyderco S90 and carbon fiber?
It's a good combination.
And the combination that they
it's
know
bad.
sells. That's the big
fair.
thing.
So what happens here, you see, is a company buys products in bulk.
So how does that explain them having like 30 or like 4 or 5 different types of carbon fiber then?
They bought it in bulk.
Yeah.
Lots of bulk.
Lots of bulk.
Well, they buy this stuff and then they cut it really thin and put it on top of G10.
That's a lot of work.
So,
And yet they do
you
it.
think they buy peel ply
They
carbon
probably
fiber
Probably.
They
pre-made
probably
in bulk?
I would
Chances
imagine.
are,
They
yeah.
probably just epoxy it all together that way.
Which
right?
is not what this is, by the way, guys.
No.
This is true carbon fiber.
Yeah.
The goodness.
Although I did have a Chinese company the other day that I finally revealed had 2 carbon fiber stickers on the inside and the outside of a product and put plastic in the middle. It was sneaky enough that you would have thought that it was carbon fiber on both.
I broke that piece though, and it splintered. Like it might have actually been carbon fiber stuck to it, like just the barest little bit.
Anyway, continue on. The knife itself.
So the Shaman.
Yeah.
The shaman.
Pretty good slicey wise. I would say it's on par with any of the Benchmades and the ZTs on the market right now, but having Spyderco pride themselves in cutting ability, I think it's a little thicker than the average Spyderco that you
It's
see.
definitely thick behind the edge for sure.
It's thick in general, really.
Yeah. They do bill this as like a harder use sort of knife, right? Like it's not.
It cuts pretty good, pretty surprisingly well, I would say, for how thick and stuff it is.
Yeah, for its stock thickness, I think it overperforms for what's out there in the market.
And I think a lot of that has to do with blade height. It gives it enough space to taper down. Spyderco's smart enough to do at least a bit of a distal taper as far as the spine goes as well. So that helps cutting ability as well, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if they wanted to make it as slicey as possible, they wouldn't have these flats up here. It would just be ground all the way back. But yeah. Maybe that makes it easier for certain types of sharpeners for clamping, I guess.
Oh, for sure it does.
Yeah.
For any sort of clamp system, any sort of flat is going to be easier for it to grab onto.
This one's coming out of Colorado. I know like the paramilitary and stuff like that has magnetic stick sometimes to other knives around it. Does this one do that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
First of all, you need a knife that's equally weighted to a shaman to be able to pull it
You
around.
should be able to feel something, though, right?
But
Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Just something because it's both coming out of Boulder.
I think because you have a fake PM2, it does that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention where I bought that one.
Why the shiny G10? It should have been a dead giveaway. But anyway, on this guy itself, ergos wise, I think it's a pro in everyone's eyes.
Yeah. It's so super comfy in my hand.
Crazy XL monster mitts, double XLs, you will find the Shaman comfortable for sure.
Yeah, part of why I enjoyed this version of the Shaman so much is I really enjoyed how the regular Shaman fit in my hand, but then with the finish that they left on the carbon fiber, it's just a very pleasing hand feel.
Yeah.
The carbon fiber feels really nice.
And I think carbon fiber is one of those materials where you kind of get almost a free pass to leave your flats just because of the nature of what the material is. You get to see that nice woven pattern. It looks nice and tight.
The little shimmery.
And as far as grip goes, I mean, I know we have some divided opinions about jimping on the table, but for me, I actually kind of like it. Even as far as indexing, it doesn't bother me.
need it.
It doesn't need it, no. I mean, this is a good enough grip that even without, like, I'll hold the knife like this or like this. It's not slipping anywhere.
Yeah.
Speaking of ergonomically, this is an excellent knife. Even the pocket clip, which normally I would think would be the source of a lot of hot spots,
Tucks away pretty well.
yeah, it's pretty much gone in most grips. So
Left, actually, 4-way pocket clip.
Mhm.
And I don't think too many people have complained about it not being deep carry, even though it is. I don't think, with this much knife in your pocket, it's not necessarily a bad thing that it's not
Yeah,
further down in
You
your
got-
pocket.
you've got a little bit of knife to actually grab to pull it out of your pocket, which is nice.
and I actually found that was kind of nice in the pants I'm wearing today when I was testing this in and out of the pocket. Being able to grip in that area was quite nice, actually. It was very comfortable to wear and to take out and hold.
I know we can be a little bit polarizing about how wide the knife is, and some people don't mind it being so wide, and some people may not like it as much. But I found sliding this in and out of the pocket, because of how that carbon fiber is finished, it's got full retention, but it's not grabbing the pocket. It's not trying to shred your pocket.
Yeah, I definitely had no issue getting the knife in and out of my pocket, but definitely had issue getting these hands in and out of my pocket with the knife in there.
And
That's
again,
fair.
the overall weight was what? Sorry?
5 ounces.
5 ounces.
Not a
Oh,
light
Pretty
knife.
good for that size.
and on
Yeah.
that note, we were talking about tigers, right?
Yeah,
For the
so-
weight of?
Did you do any math in there?
I totally did math, guys. Okay, so for 1,600 shamans for the average tiger, okay, that works out to about $480,000 US. Tiger cubs cost roughly $2,500 after you have your exotic pet license. I don't know how much that costs.
Fair enough.
That might be a next week thing. But after that, $2,500 for a tiger cub. So for that $480,000 that you're getting for your shamans, you can buy 192 tigers, by the way.
How many countries do you think we could take over with 192 tigers?
Nice little army of tigers.
Yeah.
It would be fun.
Yes, the answer is yes.
All of them except for the island ones.
So as far as the using of this knife, I really want to use it. Feels awesome to carve with, but being a left-handed person, compression locks.
Yeah.
I hate them. I kind of despise compression locks as a
Well,
lefty.
It's worse than a lockback, even. And I hate
Yes.
to say that because lockbacks aren't the most convenient thing for left-handed people or right-handed people, but that's the easiest way for me to describe compression locks for lefties is it's worse than a lockback.
Yeah.
And everyone hates, well, and some people don't, the drop shake and whatever. But yeah, like your Cali 3, it's a drop shake motion, and you can do that, right? And everyone gets used to that. But it's not as clean as a liner. It's not as clean as an access lock.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's usually the way that I will close a compression lock too, is the drop shake.
Try doing that lefty though.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Yeah.
Well, I've tried and I've nearly
So-
chopped the knife.
And I've even had some knife designers say, oh yeah, it takes a while to get used to the compression. I'm like,
Not as a left-handed person, it doesn't.
I've taken a long time to get used to it, and I still think it sucks balls compared to every other locking mechanism on the market.
Yeah, so this was another one of those, like the Akuchi for me is, if it wasn't for the compression lock, it's would be very tempting to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should mention too, you were talking before that it fits your hand.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly comfortable even in my hand. So
Yeah.
Fits in a
And it's
medium,
got a fair
fits in a
amount of-
large.
yeah.
Yeah. Spyderco did knock it out of the park on ergonomics. I think everyone can agree that it fits.
It's a comfy knife.
that's
Bang on.
specifically why I think that it doesn't need jimping, is because it's such good ergos otherwise.
Yeah.
It doesn't really need the extra grip.
I appreciate it being there, but I agree it doesn't necessarily need it.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, why do you need that aggressive jimping on a knife this small? You really don't. But I don't know. I appreciate it on a larger knife.
And don't get me wrong, Spyderco does good jimping.
Yes. So happy that the Shaman doesn't feature the hump.
Yeah,
It would just be way too wide and way too weird.
Yeah.
it sure would.
I much
Yeah,
prefer
but
Spyderco's in
following
general.
the native design, and that's been Spyderco's big kick lately, is
Yeah.
expanding on the native style blades. It's following the theme, right? Of an extra large shaman, a heavy duty shaman, or a heavy duty native, as it were, right? Like so.
Like you said, no, I'd much prefer that kind of look, like the PPT, something like this, instead of having that hump where the hole sitting.
I'll say I actually really like the style of pocket clip from Spyderco, where they integrate the lanyard at the top. I figure if you're gonna if you're gonna have a lanyard hole anyway, you may as well make it as close to the top as possible, if not down to the side or something.
Well, and once again, Spyderco's not afraid to put a lanyard hole right in the blade path to keep their blades higher than they should be, just like the Caribbean that we talked about a couple months back.
Yes.
And one of my biggest complaints was that if you had got rid of this lanyard hole, you could sink this knife deeper inside itself and make it a smaller footprint.
He would have made it a flipper.
Yeah.
I keep on joking about Shaman's secret flipper that no one likes to talk about, but just for the record,
I almost got stabbed right there.
fake deployment goes on, but you all just saw it. You can, and really all it's doing is relieving the detent for you to snap it open at that point. But I think that's funny as hell.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It will actually kind of bite you too if you're not careful when you're closing it. If you
Yeah, like it'll bump into your finger.
it'll hit you in the finger.
Not bite like the tropin.
Yeah, no.
Spyderco tropin is a blade accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's not the edge hitting you,
We
which is
saw that
nice.
in the catalog, and it was like, what the heck?
Yep.
And then they still released the knife and they didn't care. But anyway, we're reviewing the Shaman, not the tropin.
Yeah.
So I think other than that, fit and finish is superb. There's
Very
It
nice.
really
and clean.
is, yeah.
no flaws on this knife whatsoever.
And that's, it's just very nice to see that they kind of checked all the boxes in terms of getting rid of any sharp corners, chamfering things where they needed to be. Ridiculous precision on the rounding here.
Yeah.
Once again, I hope someone will come up with some heat treatment stats on the S90 at Spyderco, just for the controversy that it is, and see that they're as high performing as they should be.
Oh, of course.
S90 in the past, an S110 I know I've seen online, people will get their stuff checked. Seems to be pretty consistent, like consistently high marks. So.
Yeah.
I have no doubt. So this is going to be a high performing knife for sure.
I was going to say, for the chamfering and just the fit and finish of this knife, you're paying that Spyderco tax and you're paying that the Sprint Run tax. So it's nice that they did check all those boxes, considering you are paying. It's not a cheap knife.
No.
Let's be honest here.
But again, for like you were dabbling on, for what you're getting, the exclusivity of it all,
Exactly.
the materials, nothing to sneeze at. I mean, I got a 940-1 that you're paying the same price for every day of the week for the next 10 years that you are for the rarity of
Is
the
this
Sprint
like
Run Shaman.
a one of 1,000?
It's one and done. They
No, but did they make 1,000
Sprint
of
runs
them?
are normally 600 pieces, which is really weird that they do 600, but sometimes they have been known to do 500. They have been 1,000. Sometimes they pump out 1,200. So I don't know the exact number, but an average Sprint run is 600 pieces.
6 to 12.
For some weird reason. Yeah.
So if you like it, grab it before it disappears, because once it's gone, that's it.
Blade HQ is already sold out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going quick.
Surprising.
So
Now, manufacturers exclusives, they do more often, but that's dicey. You know.
and on that note, we didn't mention it in the first video this week, but we will mention it in the second video this week. Thanks to the Cutting Edge. Cutting Edge Cutlery Company in Calgary, well, several stores throughout Canada. Yeah, but the one in Calgary has lent this one to us for us to be able to review, and we really appreciate them trusting
Very
us
much so.
to do this. Yeah.
Because it's a $400 Canadian Sprint Run that we may not be able to review
And
otherwise.
just for the record, they still have them in stock. So
Yes.
Check them out.
While the supplies last.
Yeah. So yeah, seems like that's about all we have for the rambling, babbling about this knife.
I hope we covered all the check boxes. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining. So,
Yeah. That being said, this is Nigel the Smith signing off.
I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
And I'm XL.ca.
We will catch you again next week.
We don't need bigger knife. Yeah.